till you find your center. Both sit bones even on your block or on the mat. And then starting to connect to the breath. Nice deep belly breaths in and out of the body. Relaxing the shoulders down from the ears. Just taking a couple of breaths here, settling on your mat, arriving in your body. One more inhale here. Exhale to release. And then let's inhale the arms up overhead, and we'll bring the right hand around the left wrist, and then inhale to stretch the arms out. Exhale, leaning over to the right. You can still be on your block or you can be off your block, but really giving the wrist a nice firm pull to open up through that left side body. Take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, letting go of the wrist and just bringing your right hand down to the mat and extending the stretch of your left arm. Feeling the stretch all the way from your left hip to your left fingertips. One more breath here. And then inhale, coming back up, right arm meets the left. Taking hold of the right wrist with the left hand and stretching over to the left. Maybe gazing under the right armpit. One more breath here. And then letting go of the right wrist, left hand to the mat, right arm up and over. Maybe just that little opening of the armpit to the ceiling. And then inhale, walking both your hands through center. You can come off the block if you want to, and just reaching your fingertips forward. Forehead to the mat. Slight engagement of the belly to the spine to really stretch through the lower back, the underneath of the armpits, the muscles along the side body. Really breathing into the shapes tonight. Just practicing with kindness towards yourself. No straining or stress. And then inhale, rolling yourself back up again to a seat. This time removing the block if you're sitting on it and coming onto hands and knees. So we'll just take a couple of traditional cat-cows in your own time and your own breath. Moving slowly to start to open up all the muscles of the back body. Pulling in the ribs as you come into your angry cat, belly to spine. And then releasing belly to the mat, tilting the hips, opening the heart. And then inhale, coming back to center. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to inhale the right arm forward. Exhale the left leg back, stretching the arm and leg away from each other, belly to spine. And then exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, stretch and replace. Other side. Left arm forward, right leg back, stretching away from each other. Feel the belly engage. And then elbow to knee. Stretching out again. And both hands and knees to the floor. Other side. So we'll just go side to side. to your own time and your own breath. Really focus on the feeling of the movement. We'll do maybe 3 more each side. Really seeing your body from the inside out as you're moving, stretching, curling, stretching, hands and knees to the mat. Very nice. Just keep going. I think we've got about 2 more each side. Last one each side. Stretching belly to spine. Curling in. Exhaling, lengthen, replace. Last one. Left arm forward, right leg back, reaching away from each other. Elbow to knee. Extending, replace, pushing back, child's pose. Walking your fingertips forward. Your knees can be together or slightly apart, depending if you want to feel the stretch in your lower back. Knees together. If you want to stretch more into the hips, knees apart. Taking a breath here. Letting something go as you exhale. One more breath there. Inhale, coming back onto hands and knees. Elbows under shoulders. Hands in line with the elbows. Tucking the toes. Dolphin plank. So our elbows are under our shoulders. Our hands are extending straight out from our elbows. Gazing softly to the top of the mat. And then engaging from your ankles all the way up the inner seam of the body, right into your belly button. Taking 2 more breaths here. Knees to the mat, tucking the toes, hands under shoulders, downward facing dog. Pedaling out your down dog, you can move the hips from side to side. And then find stillness for a breath or 2 in your first down dog. Letting something go on the exhale, letting something soften. On the inhale, floating onto the balls of your feet, floating forward into plank pose. Bending the knees towards the mat, scooping the hips up, down dog. Floating forward. Bending the knees so that they don't touch the mat. You're almost in your all 4 position. Scooping the hips up, downward facing dog. Let's do one more like that. Inhale, floating forward. Bending the knees towards the mat in your plank. Scooping the hips up, downward facing dog. Inhale, floating forward. Exhale, heels to the right. Your left fingertips can be on the mat, or you can raise your left arm up. Your hand may be slightly forward of your shoulder. Maybe you're going to gaze towards your fingertips. You might stay there, or you might bring the left foot into tree pose. Lifting your hips away from the mat in your tree pose. Keeping your arm up, just stepping your left foot behind your extended right leg. Opening up through the heart in your wild thing. One more breath here. Left hand down, Left leg down, coming through a chaturanga, elbows into the ribs. Or you can do your cobra. It's too early for chaturanga. Upward facing dog or your cobra, nice. Downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. Letting something go. Inhale, floating forward to your plank. Shoulders are slightly forward of the wrists. Exhale, heels over to the left. So your feet are staggered. Decide whether you're going to keep your right fingertips to the mat or whether you can lift them up. Pushing yourself away from the ground, lifting the side body away from the ground. And then maybe you're going to bring the top leg into your tree pose. That's only an option. Everything's an option. So you do what feels good in your body. Maybe stepping the right foot behind the straight left leg into your wild thing, opening your heart to the ceiling. And then right hand comes down, right foot next to left, elbows into the ribs, knees to the mat or not. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Taking 2 breaths here. What can you soften as you exhale? What can you let go of? On the exhale, exhaling out of the mouth. Inhaling the right leg forward, up. Exhale, knee to chest. Lifting the hips, squeezing the knee to the chest, and then gently placing the right foot next to or behind the right wrist. And then gently dropping the back knee to the floor. Inhale, coming up for your low lunge. So think about lunging so that you can really feel the left side of the body opening. Squeezing the left glutes. Belly to spine. Shoulders down from the ears. And then from there, you can stay here. The option is to half bind the right hand. See if you can hold onto your hip or your outside of your pants. And then inhale, maybe gazing up. Exhale, maybe lunging a little bit more and opening your upper back into a back bend. Your left hand reaches up and back. Make sure you're not straining the neck. Opening the heart, beautiful shapes. One more breath here. And then inhaling, both arms up to the ceiling. Hands to heart center. Twisting left elbow outside your right foot. Right thigh. Squeezing your hands to turn your body to the right. Making sure the belly is off the thigh. And then releasing both hands on either side of the front foot, bringing the back foot to join the right, and we're in a standing forward fold. So big bend in the knees, belly towards the spine, the thighs, and just letting the head hang. You can hold on to opposite elbows. You can hold on to the back of your ankles. You can hold on to any part of the leg that you like. Just feeling what's best in your body in your forward fold. We'll take another big inhale here. Exhale to release. Inhale to halfway lift. We're going to heel toe the feet so we're in a first position of ballet, I think it is. Heels together, toes facing the sides of the mat. And then we're going to bend our knees, squeezing the heels together, lifting the heels off the floor. Nice. I'll just face you so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So we're in a version of Malasana. And then we're going to just walk our hands forward, letting the heels squeeze together. Balls of the feet nicely on the mat. And walking your fingers forward and just relaxing here in this shape. Noticing the openings, noticing what's working. You might feel the heels moving a little bit as they work to keep you balanced in this shape. So taking 2 more breaths here. Noticing a slight contraction of the belly to the spine. And just enjoy the shape. Just going to turn around so that I'm facing the same part of the mat as you. From there, we're going to inhale, bringing our fingertips back towards our feet and gazing forward. We're gently going to stand up on our tippy toes. Our heels are still together for balance. Sweeping the arms up overhead, squeeze the glutes, engage the legs and the belly. And then hands to center, exhaling, heels back to the ground. Beautiful. Keep coming all the way down. Hands to the mat, stepping back into down dog. Inhaling the left leg up. Exhaling, tucking the knee towards the chest. Inhaling back up. Exhaling, stepping the foot through or behind the left hand. Dropping the right knee. Finding low lunge. Inhaling the arms up. So first start by squeezing the right glute as you lunge forward a little bit. Feel that beautiful opening in the front of the quad of the right leg. And then left arm behind your back. If you did that variation, you can move the hand to see if you can take a grip of the hip. And then inhale, reaching the top arm up and back. Maybe you can lunge a little bit more into the front foot. Upper back's in a back bend. Opening your heart to the ceiling. If balance is tricky, of course, heel toe your left foot towards the left side of the mat. Taking a breath or two here. Noticing the quality of the breath. Inhaling both arms up to the ceiling. Exhaling, hands to heart center. And twisting right elbow outside the left thigh. Palms together. Bringing the center of your heart to your thumb. So the middle of your breastbone, I should say, to your thumbs. Maybe gazing up. And then looking down, hands on either side of the left foot. Stepping your left foot in to meet your right. Feet are hip distance apart. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Sweeping the arms up, bending the knees. Inhaling the arms up and overhead. And back to heart center. Weight into the left foot, bending the right knee to the chest. Holding on to the right knee and giving it a bit of a squeeze. And growing tall. So tall out of your standing leg, engaging, flexing the right foot. And then left hand to your left hip. Right hand piece grips the big toes. You can stay here with the knees bent, Or you can start to straighten the leg. It can straighten any amount. You may be here, but just start to feel that feeling of the toe pulling against the peace fingers, your index and your middle finger, and your shoulder pulling back, growing tall out of the standing leg, and just feel what that does to the shape. Neck soft, gaze is soft. Maybe you're going to exhale your left arm out to the side. I like to pinch my thumb and my index finger together for balance. Maybe you're going to open your leg out to the right. It can be bent. There's no right or wrong here. Just doing what feels good in your body. Relaxing the gaze for balance. Maybe if you're feeling super confident, you're going to turn your gaze over your left arm. And then left hand to hip, right leg forward, letting go of the right leg, holding it up. Maybe both arms come up, and then knee to chest. As you come down, hands down towards the mat or a block into your standing split. Right leg lifts up. Doesn't have to go right up to the ceiling. It can be in a warrior three shape. And then gently lowering the back foot to the mat. You can drop the heel. Inhale, rounding yourself up for warrior one. Exhale, opening warrior two. Adjust your feet if you need. Flipping the left arm over and back for reverse warrior two. Maybe gazing up at the ceiling. Don't be afraid to bend the left knee. Just make sure it's tracking out to the left as you reach your left arm behind you. Right arm down the leg. Beautiful. And then coming back through warrior two. Start to straighten the front leg. Left hand onto the left shin. Sucking the left glutes towards the right. Coming into your triangle pose. Gazing up at your hands. Beautiful shape. Opening your chest towards the right side of the room. Squeezing your glutes. And actually, Claire, can you suck your left glutes in towards your right thigh? Just try and feel the cue as I'm saying it, because you've got a beautiful shape there. If you can just draw your left glute in towards your right, I think it'll give you a really lovely feeling in the lower back. And then bending the left leg, coming back through reverse warrior two. Hands windmill towards the mat. Stepping the left foot back. Elbows in towards the ribs. Opening the heart. Upward facing dog. Exhaling. Downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. Letting something go. And then we're going to look forward, and we're either going to step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, bending the knees, coming up to standing. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Weight into the right foot. Let's bring the left knee to the chest. Give it a good squeeze, growing tall out of the right leg. Belly to spine, shoulders down. And then right hand to hip, peace, gripping the big toe of the left foot. So index and middle finger and the thumbs on top. And then decide, are you going to stay here, keep the gaze forward, or using your heel, are you going to start to lengthen that leg any amount? And then pull the shoulder back, lock it in. Maybe your right arm's going to float up. Try pressing the index finger and the thumb together. Maybe right arm out to the right. Maybe left leg out to the left. Any amount, no judgment. Maybe you're going to gaze over your right fingertips and then right hand to hip, left leg back to center. Inhale, lifting both arms up, holding that left leg out in front of you, and then sweeping it back. Hands come towards the mat or towards your shin, standing splits. Let the head be heavy wherever you are, belly to spine. And then gently starting to lower the left foot to the mat, heel comes down, lifting ourselves up into warrior one. Beautiful. Blossoming open, warrior two. Adjust the back heel if you need. Right knee out to the right, not falling in. Inhale, reversing your warrior two. Exhale, coming back through warrior two, starting to straighten the right leg. You can heel toe the back foot in a little bit if you like, leaning over and then finding your shape in your triangle pose. So think about pulling the belly button to the back, and then you're opening the front part of your lower belly to the left side of the room. You can think about really gripping your right glute and tucking it under. See if that does anything to the shape for you. Exhaling, extending the left arm up and over. One breath here. And then bending through the front leg, reversing the shape. Reverse warrior two with your right knee bent. And then windmilling, hands towards the mat, either side of the right foot. Stepping back through plank. Elbows into ribs, chaturanga, if you like, or just meeting in down dog. Upward facing dog. And then lifting the hips, downward facing dog. We're just going to take tiny little mini steps to the front of the mat, hips up, and crossing one leg in front of the other, coming onto our seat. Lengthening the legs out in front of us. You can bring your fingertips to the mat beside you, shoulders away from the ears, gazing forward, belly to spine. And then inhale, floating the arms up. Exhale, belly to spine, reaching forward. See if you can reach your fingers past your feet. And then exhaling, fingertips to mat, rounding the head in. Taking a couple of breaths here. Watching your body soften towards your legs as you exhale. Inhale to halfway lift. Fingers back beside the body, beside the hips. Bringing your arms out in front of you, pulling your belly in towards your spine. Start to curl yourself back towards the mat. Very slowly, chin to chest. Exhaling, releasing. Back of the hands to the mat. Feet splay out for a breath. And then as you inhale, bring your right heel under your right knee, your left heel under your left knee. palms face down, squeezing the glutes. Inhale, lifting your hips up and away from the mat, rolling onto your shoulders. Two big breaths here as you inhale, feeling the belly inflating, replacing the air, replenishing. As you exhale, squeeze the glutes together and see maybe if you can lift the hips a little bit more. Keep the squeeze of the glutes. Inhaling. Exhaling, squeezing the glutes, maybe lifting the hips a tiny bit more. And then exhaling, slowly lowering the back, one vertebra at a time. Keeping the feet hip distance apart, opening your arms out to a T. Exhaling, hands over to the right. Sorry, knees over to the right. Gaze over to the left. Let everything soften here. Shoulders heavy on the mat, belly soft. Knees soft, just landing where they land. And then inhaling back to center, over to the other side. Knees to the left, gaze over the right arm. And then inhale, knees back to center, taking hold of the shins with one in each hand. Slight rock side to side on the lower back. Squeeze, giving the knees a big hug, rounding your forehead in towards your knees. Becoming a tight little ball. And then as you exhale, slowly releasing yourself down to the mat. Legs walk down the mat, feet splay out to the side, palms up towards the ceiling. Taking a deep breath in. Exhaling to release your practice, release your control of the breath. Relaxing the facial muscles and coming into a few moments of deep rest. Shavasana. Noticing how the body loves to rest. Sometimes it's the mind that presents a bit of a challenge when we're resting. Trying not to lock into anything that the mind's telling you. Judgments about the practice, too easy, too hard, too short, too long, the poses. Just watching what the mind's doing and letting it go. None of it matters. The only thing that matters is connecting the body with the breath and finding that little bit of inner peace and inner quiet as we're moving. On the next inhale, slowly starting to deepen the breath. Maybe bringing some movement to the fingers and the toes. And gently keeping the eyes open, just rolling through one side, knees bent, and coming up to your seat. Keep the eyes closed if you can. Now inhale the arms up towards the ceiling, palms meet overhead. And as you bring your hands to heart center, thumbs in towards the chest, we'll complete the practice tonight with the sound of Om. So don't worry about what it sounds like, just feeling the vibration of the movement in your chest under your thumbs. So let's inhale together, exhaling for Om. Om. Gently bowing the forehead towards the fingertips. Together we say, Namaste.